only is Canada in economic meltdown, I would say, if you factor in, the housing crisis, immigration crisis, jobs crisis, youth unemployment, the fact that we have a slave underclass doing all the jobs that teenagers used to do in this country, driving the wages down, the fact that we can't access healthcare because we have a million other people trying to access the same healthcare system. We don't allow innovation. Anyways, I can go on and on about how terrible things are here in Canada. But one of the things that the Liberals have really overseen over the last, since October 7th, nearly for 2 years now, is this surge of anti-Semitic protests, violence in some cases, shootings in other cases, and they really don't seem to care. In fact, I pulled records with the RCMP and it shows that they had 0 meetings on anti-Semitism, but plenty of meetings, as it turns out, with new data on Islamophobia. So shows how much the feds are taking this stuff seriously. And of course, it's spilling over now into targeting the Liberal MPs now. Maybe they'll do something about it now that it's their homes and not Jewish neighborhoods in Toronto and Jewish girls' schools being targeted. But this is from our buddy Efron. Anti-Israel protesters siege outside the personal home of Anita Anand, Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, in the suburbs of Oakville, Ontario. Let's see this.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina!
I hate this. You know what? I don't like Anita Anand. I'm full of criticism for her. In fact, I've got plenty of criticism for her on her anti-Semitic rhetoric against the state of Israel. The only people starving in Gaza are the hostages, by the way, that she seems to forget about. But don't go to people's houses. Like, go to her constituency office. Don't go to their house. I didn't like when the CBC went to Rob Ford's house. I found it objectionable. I don't like when the freedom protesters went to Doug Ford's house, even though he seemed to care what was happening in your house a fair bit. I don't like it. I don't like targeting politicians or anybody for that matter at their house. And it's even worse when it's anti-Israel rhetoric. And Anita Anand, I mean, she's given these people the world, hasn't she? And it's not enough because it's not about a Palestinian state, which is rewarding terrorism. For them, they will not be satisfied until it's from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. What do they mean free of Jews? Just pushing them into the sea. That's what they want because she's already said, I agree with a Palestinian state. That's not enough for them, is it?
Well, and can you imagine the headlines and the absolute chaos that would ensue if the Freedom Convoy, for instance, had shown up to any politician's front yard
For sure.
and started protesting with their megaphones and music, and God forbid, blow up a bouncy castle and let their
Honking.
kids play. The two-tiered, not only does it highlight the two-tiered policing that we have in this country, where I would say this has just been continually emboldened over the last few years, but also the two-tiered media coverage. And you can just contrast that with the Freedom Convoy that happened, 3 years ago, which was grassroots, old stock Canadians who had had enough with their government. Look at how they were treated versus this kind of, protest that you see in front of the minister's house. It's glaring to contrast the treatment of each just a few years apart.
Yeah.